What's up everyone, and today I bring a deck profile on my Monarch. Now Monarch is a very interesting deck that does not use an extra deck, and it's a deck that kinda has a very bad breaking problem, which I found a solution to. Well, I guess kind of a semi-solution is it can still very easily brick. So without further ado, let's get right into it. First off, I run the 3 Ether, the Heavenly Monarch. You can tribute summon this card by tributing 1 tribute summon monster. If this card is tribute summon, you can send a Monarch spell trap card. You send 2 Monarch spell trap cards with different names from your hand or deck to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon 1 monster with 2400 or more attack and 1000 defense from your deck, but return it to the hand during the end phase. And during your opponent's main phase, if this card is in your hand, you can banish 1 Monarch spell trap card from your graveyard. Immediately after this effect resolves, tribute summon this card. This is a quick effect. I also run the Erebus, or 3 Erebus. This has the kind of same recurring summoning rewards as Ether, to where you can tribute summon this card by tributing 1 tribute summon monster. If this card is tribute summoned, you can send 2 Monarch spell trap cards with different names from your hand or deck to the graveyard. And if you shuffle 1 from your opponent's hand at random, graveyard or other side of the field into the deck. Once returned during this player main phase, if this card is in your graveyard, discard 1 Monarch spell trap, then target 1 monster in your graveyard with 2400 or more attack and 1000 defense to your hand. Next, I run 3 Ida, which is, in my opinion, I guess kind of like the most important piece to the Monarch, blurring up. This card is normal with special summon. You can special summon 1 monster with 800 attack and 1000 defense from your deck in defense position, which is basically going to be your Eidos. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn, which you don't use an extra deck, so that doesn't really matter. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 of your banished Monarch spell trap cards, add it to your hand. So the one you mainly want to add off of this is Pantheism, which we'll get to in a moment. But first, the Eidos I had previously mentioned. If this card is normal special summon during the main phase this turn, you can tribute summon 1 monster in addition to your normal summon. So what you want to do is use Edia to bring out Eidos, then use the effect of Eidos to get your Airbowl or Ether onto the field. Next, I run 1 the Stalos, the Mega Monarch. You can tribute summon this card by tributing 1 tribute summon monster, and when this card is tribute summoned, look at your opponent's hand, discard 1 card from the hand, then if it was a monster, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the original level times 200. So they're going to be taking a lot of damage if it's a high level monster. And if this card was tribute summoned by tributing a fire monster, add this additional effect. Also, inflict 1000 damage to your opponent after that, which we don't really run another fire aside from the Stalos, so that effect's not really going to come up at all. Also run the 1 Kuraz. When this card is normal summon, you can target 2 cards on the field, destroy those targets, and if you do, each player can draw 1 card for each of the cards they controlled that was destroyed by this effect. So you can use it to destroy your own spells and traps, which can be very good for your Pantheism. I also run 3 Vanity's Fiend. Now your player can special summon monsters, which once you get your Ether out, you're not really going to be doing a whole lot of special summoning. Plus, you could just use the effect of Adia and Eidos to get the Ether out. Moving on to the spells, I run 3 Domain of the True Monarchs. While you have no cards in your extra deck and you are the only player that controls a tribute summon monster, your opponent cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck. And if you tribute summon a monster you control attacks an opponent's monster, it gains 100 attack during a damage calculation only. Next, I run 3 Pantheism of the Monarchs. This is easily the best card in the deck. First, you can send a Monarch spell trap card from your hand to the graveyard, draw 2 cards, and then you can banish this card from your graveyard, reveal 3 Monarch spell trap cards with different names from your deck. Or no, not different names, just reveal 3 Monarch spells and traps from your deck. Your opponent chooses 1 for you to add to your hand, and you shuffle the rest into the deck. So, if you want to reveal 3 Monarchs Erupt, basically you're just going to add a Monarch's Erupt. I also run 3 Return of the Monarchs. For this, when you tribute summon a monster, you can activate one of these effects. Add from your deck to your hand 1 monster with 2400 attack and 1000 defense, or 2800 attack and 1000 defense. So it's basically can search your Ether or your Kuraz and the Stalos. So it searches your the higher attack monarchs essentially. I also run 3 Tenacity of the Monarchs. Reveal 1 monster with in your hand with 2400 attack and 1000 defense, or 28 and 1000 defense. Add a Monarch spell and trap card from your deck to your hand, except Tenacity. So this is your spell and trap searcher, much like Pantheism. I also run 3 Monarch Stormforth. Stormforth is... bleh. I can't English. Stormforth, if you tribute summon a monster for a tribute summon, you tribute one monster your opponent controls as if you controlled it. So that's definitely really cool. So let's say your opponent controls one monster and you're about to tribute summon. You can just tribute summon your opponent's monsters instead of your own. I also run 2 Magical Mallet. Magical Mallet is essentially a redraw of your hand, more or less. Considering this deck has a very bad bricking problem, you definitely want to have the Magical Mallet. And like I said in the last video, even though some people in the comments still said, oh, it's a neg 1 or something like that. First off, I don't really care if a card's neg 1 or neg 10. Look upon desires. It is a neg 9, but you draw 2 cards. It's not about negging or plussing. It's about being able to actually play the game. Let's say this is your hand. What are you gonna do? Nothing. At least with Magical Mallet, you can essentially get a redraw. Sure, you're gonna have 1 less card, but if you have a better hand in the first place, at least you can actually do something. So it's not about negging. It's not about plussing. It's about not bricking, which is the biggest problem with this deck. Yeah, people still complain that, oh, you should not run it because it's neg 1. I also run the 1-for-1 and the Rhoda because the Adia is a level 1 and also a warrior, so it's completely searchable off of those 2 cards. Next, I run 3 Monarchs Erupt. Activate this card if you have no cards in your extra deck, which we don't even have an extra deck, so negate the effects of all face-up monsters on the field while the monsters are face-up on the field except tribute summon monsters. So definitely kind of like a skill drain. Not a weaker skill drain, but one that only hurts our opponents. Also run the 2 Prime Monarchs. The Prime Monarch, once per turn, you can target 2 Monarch spell trap cards in your graveyard. Shuffle them into the deck, draw 1 card. So it's a little bit of recursion for your Monarch spells and traps. You can banish 1 other Monarch spell trap card from your graveyard, special summon this card as a defense position normal monster. So like basically it's your recursion and also being like an extra monster if you want to use it for like a tribute summon or something. So that's all for my Monarch deck profile. Let me know, what do you think? Think it's a pretty cool deck? Think it's really degenerate, which it is. Let me know in the comments and I'll see you in the next video I make.